Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Hold on, I'm currently removing a card that I think. Ooh, I don't think it is. I was trying to find the deck of the card that this belongs to, and oh, I did find it. Yay! So, anyways, welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Friday! Happy Friday! It is Aloha Oracle Friday, and it's going to be a short one. Super short, super short. I'm going to start as I always used to. Welcome back, I should say, to Aloha Oracle Friday. Morning, Lori, with the angel answers. Angel answers. So let's see what we can get here, and then I have Healing with the Fairies in the New Orleans deck. Good morning, Eileen. So, it's been a while since I've done an Oracle Friday. I don't know that it'll be every Friday. I think I want to make Aloha Fridays Hawaiian based, so I'll probably be coming up with some stuff for that, but until then, let's just continue the way we always have and just do this. And then Monday we'll be back with the daily affirmators, which I super duper love, because I love the affirmators. They're my favorites. They're just so snarky and fun and just vibrant and joyful. So yeah, I hope you join me for those too. Let's see. Boy, I think my cards are mad at me because it's been a while since I've used them. They're just like, we're not talking to you, Shelly Marie. We put you on ignore. Oh, there we go. Oh, I got 3 instead of 2 more, so we get 6 cards to start out with today. Oh, 7, because 1 was backwards. All right. So this is just, just to go back to the old days with the Aloha Oracles. Let's see if I still have the rules in here. I do. How about that? All right. Guidelines. And these are necessary because I don't want anyone stressing out, all right? Number 1, do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work for a good place, so if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here. Number 2, do not make a card fit your question if it does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. Good morning, Eileen. Number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to write it and put it together. And number 4, angels, God, heaven, etc. might come up. Feel free to insert your higher power or the universe. This will help the flow of the reading without stopping to clarify, all right? So I don't mean to, I'm not trying to step on anyone's beliefs or anything, or, so just fill in the blanks for yourself. Good morning, Lori. If I already say good morning to you guys, I'm sorry. I'm just like, woo. Good morning, older sibling. So I told older sibling this morning, it's like, oh, they're lucky they're getting a show today because I just did not want to do one today. And I've been in a great mood all week. I just think that, it's when you start and then you start out and you go big, right? Go big or go home. And it's just, I think my depression was creeping up on me and my mental stuff was creeping up on me. And I'm like, no, today I'm not ignoring it. I'm acknowledging it, and I'm acknowledging it. I am gonna feel it, and I'm feeling it and healing it. So, just kind of learning how to remove back through all this stuff, and in a way picking up new things because this is new for me. Just, sometimes I just want to not do anything, and this is not one of those times where I think it's the right time to do that. So, pushing through. All right, number 1, communicate clearly. Communicate clearly. Do I really need to talk about that one? So, this is the only deck I do not read the book on, but communicating clearly, that seems pretty obvious to me. So, if you're having an issue of some sort, communicate clearly. If it is something that might be a tense situation, pick the right words, think about it so you don't fight about it. If it starts to get into an argument, just say, look, you know what, I'm going to take a step back, and when we've both kind of taken a step back, we'll revisit this subject, because you don't want to fight about it. And fighting about it does not mean communicate clearly. It just means you're going to fight and no one's going to hear anything. Okay, I don't know who needs to hear this because I don't think it's for everybody. So if it resonates with you, whatever you are asking about that you probably already know the answer to, it is still a no. All right, so I know sometimes we think, I don't think that's for everybody, so I'm going to set that one over here. I know sometimes we really want to do something and we think, yeah, but we know it's probably not in our best interest. that card is just validating you. All right, so no. All right, or at least revisit it later. So it's not, it doesn't have the exclamation mark. There is a card in here that has an exclamation mark. So this particular no may just mean, you know, not at this time, but let's revisit it, but go back and revisit it later. Okay. Recovery. I'm not sure what this is about. It could be about addiction recovery, or it could be about a physical recovery, or even a mental recovery. Okay. Whatever part of you feels broken, lost, damaged, hurt, whichever, just know that this is the right time to start getting better. This is the time to really kind of push through. Remember, for the things that my therapist has taught me, oh God, why did I forget the first one? It's usually acknowledge, feel, and heal, but it is, identify, acknowledge, feel it, heal it. Okay. So I would let that go, but then, you know, so, identify, acknowledge, feel it, heal it. All right, so when it comes to recovery, that's a big one too. But I feel like this is not also part of the thing. So these two cards must be separate for somebody else. So whatever you're waiting for, it's going to happen within the next few months. But there's always a big but. If you do not have faith and you do not trust it, it's going to keep being a few more months, a few more months, a few more months. Or, as this one would say, a year from now. So whatever it is that you are focusing on that has a timeline, it could be within the next few months or a year from now. So, you know, when we talk about communicating clearly, we talk about that with, you know, one another and that. But if you were trying to manifest something, if you were trying to create something, if you were trying to make something happen, you have to communicate clearly, and you have to trust, and you have to have faith. Any bit of doubt is going to slow that process down. And if it continues, if there's a continual flow of doubt, you are just going to halt it in its tracks. Okay, you're going to put it out of commission. So if you communicate what you want clearly with the universe, your higher power, whoever it is, make sure you are very, very specific about what you want. Okay? And hopefully, within the next few months or a year, it will happen. And the reason I say hopefully is because, you know, these cards are about guidance. They're telling you what you need to do to get to the point. And remember, always use the term this or something better, because what you're asking for may not be meant for you, but what is meant for you will come to you. So always leave that big open field, okay, for your higher power. Give them that wiggle room. So this or something better. All right. Perfect timing. Now just know that whatever you're asking for and communicating about clearly will happen in perfect timing or divine timing. Now I know divine timing might seem like a pain in your ass. I know. Because we want everything now. That's the kind of world we live in now. I mean, with social media, with apps that, you know, we just go in and pick up something, we become a little bit lazier. And I admit, I'm one of those people. Like, I mobile app my Starbucks order because I just don't want to wait. And it's not, there are certain places anyway, but even like, you know, fast food, we can mobile app. There are all just sorts of things that just kind of make us lazier. All right. And so everything's become a little bit easier. We're going to end up like those people on that ship in Wall-E, right? Where they're all just like, and they have no freaking clue. So, you know, let's try not to get there. But remember, perfect timing, you have to understand it, and you have to accept it, because that is what it is. So remember, patience, have faith, trust, and believe. All right, those are your key words. And that's funny. Wait. So whatever it is, don't give up. All right, don't give up. Just know that if it is meant for you, it is coming to you. And if you're asking for something specifically specific and it isn't meant for you, that the right thing will replace it, and you will be very happy with those results. All right. So let's do the healing with the fairies. All right. Yeah, that's the one. I had this one sitting up on my desk since the last oracle card reading we did. Letting go. Letting go is not easy for people. It can be quite traumatic, I think, for some people to try to let go. So, you know, give yourself some grace, give yourself some compassion. And if it's something that does not serve your life, or, you know, whether it's an emotion, a feeling, a person, whatever, let it go. right, let it go. So, here, there's one. I usually do 3 shuffles, guys. If we... Oh, there's... Whoa. Okay. I'm not sure if that card just wants to be read or it doesn't want to be read. I don't even know where it went. Oh, there it is. Alright. What was this one? Awakening Your True Self. Boy, that one flew hard out of the deck. So we'll get to that one last because I think it's saying, hey, listen to me. And you know what? Maybe it also flew off the desk because awakening your true self can be elusive to a lot of people because they think, oh, I am me. And I have a story to sort of relate to this. So, and I talked about it during one of the Affirmator shows. I don't know if it was the one on TikTok or the live, but yeah. Oh, okay. Well, interestingly enough, the last 2 cards that flew out of the deck really kind of go together. But the first one is family harmony. Family harmony. If you know, this one's a hard one to talk about when I say family harmony because not everybody wants to comply with family harmony. People might get, hurt because, situations, didn't go in their favor or people didn't side with them or this, that, or the other. And whatever the case is, we have to be accountable for our actions. Period. I have to be accountable for my actions. You have to be accountable for your actions. People who hurt us have to be accountable for their actions. And when we don't hold them accountable, sometimes they tend to go off in the wrong direction. But when we do hold them accountable, a lot of times, and I'm not saying this is always the case, but I would say the majority of the times, this is when they start taking accountability because they want these things back in their life. But, with family harmony, sometimes we hold grudges that we shouldn't hold. And I've been known to do this. So, I'm not innocent by any stretch of the imagination in this. But we do set boundaries. And it's okay to set boundaries and still have that family harmony. So if, maybe this card came up because the holidays are coming up and a lot of people dread the holidays, right? It's like you go and, oh God, I have to tell you, I'm so glad this is not a thing anymore. But for the longest time, the aunties in the family, not necessarily the family I've spent Thanksgiving with, but, other family, you go to places and it's like, oh, Shelly, are you seeing anyone yet? Oh, Shelly, are you married yet? Oh, Shelly, have you had kids yet? It's like, thanks, because I wasn't already feeling bad about my life. Thanks for making it worse. But, don't be that relative, all right? Don't be that relative. Just ask them, hey, how are you doing? Anything new in your life? And if they want to tell you, they'll tell you. If not, they'll just be like, no, nothing really. So I'm grateful that the family I usually see on Thanksgiving, that is not in their framing of questions or their line of questioning. It might have been years ago, but now it's just kind of like, I think they've given up on me. So, whatever. It is what it is. But family harmony, sometimes we have to put aside our own things. But remember, you are allowed to set boundaries with people, okay? You can still be a harmonious family while also setting boundaries. You are allowed to say, you know what, I really don't want to talk about that, or that's my personal business, So, but be kind about it. You don't have to be a jerk about it. It's like, you know what, that's none of your business. Just say, no, you know what, I'm fine. I'm great. I'm doing well just as I am. So, I'm happy in the life that I'm living, and you do you, okay? You live your best life on your terms. So let's see what the book has to say. Probably going to tell me I'm full of shit. Just kidding. Oh, your relationships with family members are healing as you hold loving thoughts and feelings about the souls involved, including yourself. You experience genuine harmony within your family. Oh, that's a good one. Every person in your life is affected by your beliefs and expectations, including your family members. By drawing this card, you are counseled to hold positive and loving thoughts about anyone who seems to have irritated or hurt you. The more loving energy you send to each person, the more love will be directed back to you. Have patience. You are beginning to feel a great healing occurring in your family relationships. The fairies ask you to think of 3 reasons why you are grateful for each member of your family. If one person seems to particularly frustrate you, think of 5 reasons why that person is worthy of love. Send blessings and prayers to that person, and your relationship will show immediate signs of improvement. So here's your affirmation. I see the goodness within each member of my family. My family life is harmonious and filled with love and joy. That's a good one. Now, the interesting thing is, when I said these 2 cards seem to go together, We talked about awakening your true self, but the card that flew out right before it, breaking free. Breaking free. So, I'm going to relate something about myself here to kind of, give people an idea of what these two cards really could mean. So, as many of you know from the regular parts of my show, I have been on this huge journey, okay, of really kind of, I wanted to say self-discovery, but a lot of it's been about learning self-worth, self-love, trusting myself. Even my therapist gave me I had to write it down so I don't forget. Self-worth, compassion, empathy, and trusting myself. Those are the things she wanted me to work on for the next month. So, self-worth, trusting myself, compassion, and empathy. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves these things, or we give ourselves too much of it. Like today, when I said, I woke up, even last night, I'm like, well, but I said, I would be back on the show today, so I got to do the show. And it wasn't like I was spiraling or anything. It was more like I had to discern whether I was just not mentally there or I was just being lazy. And I think it was a little bit of both. But I think it was my brain going, no, because oracles are so much different than the affirmators. The affirmators are basically telling you something, and I'm sharing what my thoughts on that are and how we can maybe move forward with this idea of the affirmators. But with the oracle deck, you are literally interpreting cards and trying to give people the best scenario. So the other day I talked about how I've been in this great mood. I mean, when I get really excited, I talk super fast. And so it's not like I'm on caffeine or anything, and I certainly don't do drugs. But I mean, if you do, hey, I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying that when I get excited, I get hyper. I get super hyper. And you can tell because I'm a little bit slower today. So it's just kind of like I'm not pushing through my pain. I'm acknowledging it, and I'm feeling it, and I'm healing it, because I realized that it was more, I think, the anxiety of doing today's show, since it's been so long since I've done an oracle deck. And you could see the first deck of cards were just pissed because they're like, hey, we don't want to give you anything because you ignored us. So when we talk about breaking free and awakening our true selves, these two cards, breaking free and awakening your true self, I realized I wasn't on the journey of discovery, self-discovery. I was on the journey of self-rediscovery. When my depression would really, peak. And before I went back to therapy in 2017. So I've been to therapy twice, 2017, and then it started again this year in 2023. And there was this vibrant social butterfly, amazing human being that I would become. Just out there, outgoing, like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And for a while on this journey of rediscovery, I thought that I felt eventually I recognized it as being a sort of imposter syndrome, because I felt like I was just being fake, because it was my fake it till you make it persona. But it turns out that it wasn't. That was me. That was me being me without realizing that was me being me. Because for those times when I was out and about and being that social butterfly, I felt great. But the minute I was alone again, it was like, it's like letting the air out of a balloon. And then you're kind of like, oh. But I thrived being around people. And I actually wrote in my journal, it's like, I actually do like people. I know it's so bad. But, I realized that, that wasn't someone fake. And as I mentioned, I think a couple shows ago, how I had a friend that said, yeah, I remember when I first met you. It's like, you were like 20, I was like 18, and you just came right up, didn't know me, and hugged me, and you were so, so happy and so vibrant. And I'm like, who was that person? And then I realized, when I'm around people I care about, like my family or my friends, that's me again. So it really wasn't imposter syndrome. It's just who I am. But I think my depression and my mental health, and trying to keep that balance, when I was imbalanced, that probably felt like imposter syndrome. So when we get a card like breaking free and awakening your true self, don't hide that person. Let that person come out and shine. Even if you do have a dinged up mental health like I do, just let that person shine. Let them come out and say, hey, I'm here. Look at me. I'm blah, 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 free yourself. That's what breaking free is all about. It's about removing all of these anchors that we have that we think, are just, maybe too much for somebody, right? Sometimes I think a part of me got hidden because even though the term wasn't around back then, so a lot of my friends would just say, you're a bit much. You're a bit extra. Just because I was vibrant and happy and really a social butterfly, and people were just drawn to me. Now, I didn't know this. This is stuff older sibling has told me. She's all, you have what they call charisma. I know she says it like that because it's like, how do you not see it? It's like, I don't. Because I told her, I said, why do people like me? And she's like, you have charisma. It's like, oh. I know, it sounds dumb, right? But, when you have low self-esteem, you don't want to see that. I mean, charisma... Charisma is the other C word, right? When you have low self-esteem or no self-esteem. So, when you hear that, you're like, wow, me? Really? Is that it? And you're like a light, right? With all these little butterflies and moths flying towards your flame. Except you're not incinerating them on sight. You're bringing joy to them. And that's okay. If people call you a bit extra or people think that you're just too vibrant for them, I mean, extra to me is when you're just like some of these reality show people. That's a bit extra. Okay? But if you're vibrant, if you're joyful, if you're happy, and if you're, a social butterfly, to me, that's not being extra. That's being a human being who is just trying to spread their light to everybody else. And the interesting thing is that because of that, when I was having an off day, people could tell. Because they're just like, you're just not vibing like you normally do. So don't be afraid to vibe high, all right? Also, break free from other people's expectations. Break free from other people's opinions. What other people think of you doesn't matter because that's their opinion. And a lot of times opinions of other people come from our own insecurities. They come from, us not, us wanting to be like that person, us wanting to be more outgoing or more vibrant or something. So break free from other people's expectations, break free from other people's comments and thoughts, and just continue to be you, okay? Don't let people stomp out your flame. I did that, and I'm not happy that I let that happen. But you know what? I realize now that at my age, I don't give a shit, all right? If you don't like me, you know where the door is. And that's as simple as that. If you don't like me, that's where the door is. Now, I do realize that it can get a bit excitable sometimes. So if that happens, someone will tell me, hey, you're getting a little loud. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, because I do get loud when I get excited. But also, allow your true self to awaken. Don't let people hold you down anymore, all right? I let that happen for far too long, and I am telling you that at my age, I don't want people to get to my age and realize that, they can be whoever they want to be. Or they don't have to worry about other people's opinions, or they don't have to worry about, this, that, or the other. Start young. Do this young. Just be yourself. Don't let other people stamp out your flame. All right, so breaking free. Card meaning. Do you feel trapped in some life area? This card asks you to take the first step in freeing yourself from any unnatural restrictions. Sometimes we feel trapped by outside circumstances. For instance, we believe that financial or family obligations compel us to accept an unsatisfactory job, or we're afraid to leave or fix an unhealthy relationship. Perhaps we feel that our family or spouse won't let us pursue life-enhancing activities such as college classes or exercise programs. Then again, maybe we feel controlled by our addictions. The fairies say that when we're responsible for ourselves, we're more responsible for others. That is, when we are happy, our family, friends, children, and spouse enjoy being around us and are inspired by our strength and confidence. This same thing can also be said for strangers. When strangers see you doing something, think about how many times you've seen a stranger, right? And you see the way they're acting and you just become inspired by that. So your actions can inspire people you don't even know. Pray for help in releasing your fears and in assisting you in breaking free. God's plan is that you be responsible while simultaneously feeling as free as the birds, angels, and fairies. So the affirmation, I am free and I am powerful. I now allow myself to enjoy this freedom and power. So remember, you are free, you are powerful, and you are now allowed to enjoy this freedom and power. So awakening your true self. I really like this card. I don't know why, but for some reason it reminds me of Thanksgiving. Probably the colors, right? But just so pretty. They're just kind of like subtly vibrant. So, card meaning. You're beginning to recover your natural identity, including your old sense of humor, interests, passions, and desires. Trust that any confusion or changes you're currently experiencing are part of your healthful evolution. As if a cloud has lifted from your mind and heart, you're beginning to see life from the perspective of your old self. You just went through a period where you gave up who you are to please another person or people. You buried your interests, ignored your friends, and tried to fit into another person's lifestyle. Now your old self is emerging. You're back. As you recover your authentic self, your life and your personality are going through big changes. Hold tight and allow these changes to occur. The fairies ask you to trust that the parts of your life and personality that are falling away are inauthentic and false. Know that you're building a solid foundation of truth and that everything is working out perfectly right now. The affirmation, I now give myself permission to be my true self. I love that card. I love that card. It literally validates everything I just said about what I was going through. So just allow yourself to be you. Just open up, bloom. Be that lotus flower that's been hidden under that mud and that muck and everything, and just rise up above it all and bloom like the amazing person that you are. All right. So the last one, the New Orleans deck. I love this deck. It's one of my favorites. Let's see. Third shuffle. Do we get anything? Do we get anything? I'll give it one more shuffle and see if anything wants to come. Whoa. All right. Oh. Nope. That doesn't feel right. So I think this teeny bit is what... Alright, it's trying. It's trying. Alright. There. Found it. Oh, we only get one. Fine. Oh. Oh. So we had breaking free, awakening your true self, and new beginnings. New beginnings. That was the card I was guided to. So again, you had... well, in family harmony, new beginnings can even go with family harmony, right? I mean, maybe there was an issue and some boundaries had been set, and maybe there were some issues within this family or friendships or whatever, and you're in a new place now, and they might be in a new place now, and you can come back together and reform this bond and recreate it from a healthy standpoint. So, and that could be friendships, that could be relationships, that could be if you're married, that could be like a coming back together to figure each other out and maybe even start from the beginning, get to know each other again, right? So there's all these different things that this card can mean, but I love the new beginnings. And what's interesting is that it's placed in a cemetery, right? Because, and this is my interpretation on why. When we lose somebody, you're in a new normal. But also, in the tarot deck, there is the death card. And a lot of people think because of movies and because of all this, stupid stuff that we're taught when we grow up, that, and I'm sorry, stupid is probably a bit strong of a word to use, but, I was raised very, very Catholic. And that's still a part of me. I'm not going to lie. I may be a lapsed Catholic. I may not go to church because, I can see God anywhere. And we talk every day. But, actually, I have a big spiritual table, and I talk to all of them every day. In some respect. But, in the tarot deck, the death card is actually new beginnings. It is straight up new beginnings. On occasion, it might actually happen. And that's the only time I really think a coincidence. Well, maybe not. Maybe someone's just trying to tell you. And if the death card does come up and the person has no other explanation, maybe you need to go to the doctor because it's a warning card. It could be a warning card saying, hey, something might be wrong with your health. But it's on the very, very, very rare, I would say like 0.0000001% chance that it actually means death. All right. And it could also be pointing out that there was a death in your family. I know that after the first person I went to when I bought myself a reading on my birthday, and the death card came up, and they're all, but it came up next to a family card, and because my mother had just passed away the year before, and Sissy had just passed away a couple months before, so it's kind of like, oh, so it's also pointing these things out. But the death card is new beginnings. Cemeteries are new beginnings. And yeah, sometimes they are your new normal, but you never know what your new normal is going to push you towards. What is that new normal pushing you towards? There are a lot of things that I've done that I'm not sure I would have done had my mother still been alive. Because I had to figure out how to push myself in different directions. I had to figure out how to be brave enough in my life. I was strong. I didn't realize I wasn't strong. What I wasn't was courageous or brave. I settled for the status quo because it was comfortable and it was safe. But sometimes we got to push ourselves out of that comfort zone. We have to push ourselves into these new beginnings. And new beginnings don't just even have to start with death. The reason this card is probably in the cemetery is to show you that, there's an end to one part. And you are now in your stages of new beginnings. You are now in your stages where you are moving forward in either a different direction or in the same direction with more knowledge. But that, everything you had been working to heal is behind you now. It's gone. It's dead. It's in the past. And it needs to stay there. It needs to stay buried. It needs to stay there. If you want to visit it and pay it some respect, absolutely. But you're not going to dig up the body and bring it with you, right? No. Just like you shouldn't dig up the past and bring it with you either. I have done that so many times. My therapist even pointed it out to me several times in different sessions. Shelly Marie, you're doing it again. It's like, what? She's all, you are unpacking the same thing. You're going back too far. She's all, you already healed these things. So what we worked on was, why do I keep going back? And it's the same analogy I've been using lately with the itchy scratchy blanket or the comfy cozy warm cuddly blanket, right? You have the itchy scratchy holy blanket, which really doesn't keep you warm. It's completely uncomfortable, but it's comfortable for you. And I don't mean physically comfortable. Mentally in your head, it is something you acknowledge and that you know, and that you think you're worth. You think you're only worth the itchy, scratchy, holy blanket. Well, no, you're worth so much more. You're worth that warm, comfortable, cozy, warm, comforting blanket. I know I kind of repeated myself there, but you're worth that. Don't keep going back to something that you're better than. And by that I mean the situations. You've grown, you've healed, you're working on that healing. And if you haven't completely healed, stop choosing that holy, itchy, scratchy blanket. Let it go. Throw it in the dustbin. Don't even try to give it away because nobody wants it. Throw it in the dustbin. Throw it in the trash. Where did dustbin come from? Like, am I British all of a sudden? Anyway, throw it in the trash. Burn it, something. Just let it go because you deserve better. Even if you don't feel like you deserve better, even if you've made bad choices in your past is back there. It's back in here. Only visit the bad things to see how far you've come. If you are missing someone, if you're hurting, if you're feeling that sadness, visit to remind you what wonderful things they brought to your life and why you miss them so much and how grateful and lucky you were to have had that in your life. A lot of people don't. I know people who are not close to their parents. Well, I can just say it. My dad was never close to his parents. He did not like his parents. He was not a big fan of them. And, when they passed away, it was kind of like, I get to see my siblings. That's what he would say. When his mother passed, when my grandmother passed away, he went back to Hawaii, and he's all like, and I'm all like, my mom's like, oh, you're going to go? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I want to see my brothers and sisters. And that's why he went. He didn't care. And that's sad. And that put that actually, that's putting it into perspective for me right now. Yes, I lost my mother when I was 41 years old. But you know what? I'm lucky to have had her for that long. Even though sometimes our relationship could be complicated when I was growing up as an adult, we had a wonderful, loving, close relationship. And yeah, I felt gypped when she died. But now that I look back on it and now that I think about it, I was lucky to have that. I'm lucky to miss her so much. I'm lucky to miss Sissy so much. Because they brought something to my life. and they gave me lessons that I learned along the way. Okay, so let your new beginnings happen. Leave the past where it belongs, behind you. Okay, behind you. As my mom would always tell me, don't look back, you're not going that way. And like I said the other day, as older siblings sometimes says, only look back to see how far you've come. But if you're going to keep looking back to unpack stuff, then do what my mom says. Don't look back because you're not going that way. Bad choices, things that you may have done, things that you've, whatever. Start from today. Don't worry about that stuff. Those things don't define you. Okay? They don't define you. What you do every single day going forward is what will define you. What you do today isn't going to define you, but if you keep on doing it and doing it and doing it, whether it's good or bad, it will begin to define you. And wouldn't you want to make that something good as opposed to something bad? Yeah, I think so. So, new beginnings, Lafayette Cemetery. The word cemetery is usually associated with loss and gloom. However, in every ending, there is also a new beginning. You have picked this card because within your recent difficulties and endings, there is also a very bright new beginning that is more attuned to your highest good. It can be easy to get lost in counting the ways things have fallen apart, but the universe has already begun piecing together a better experience for you if you're ready to embrace it. Rather than focus on the obvious and negative, it is time to see how you have been released from what has been holding you back and to explore all of the new positive possibilities that have been created by this shift. I think that's the perfect card to end on, don't you? I really do. It's amazing, it's perfect, it's wonderful, and new beginnings is exactly what we all deserve. New beginnings is exactly what we all deserve. So leave the past where it is. If there are things you need to heal, remember. Why do I keep forgetting that first thing? It's, identify. Identify it, especially if you have a trigger, but identify the feeling or the trigger, acknowledge it, heal it, and feel it. And like I said, sometimes you may have to heal it and feel it a few times, because feelings and trauma and situations are like onions. There are a lot of things you're going to have to peel off. But you'll notice that even though you might keep revisiting something, that it makes you feel better and better and better each time. And you notice that as the feelings change towards whatever this is you're healing, that you're moving forward. But again, don't be me. Don't find different ways to repack these things just to unpack it again. When you start to feel good about it, let it go. If it's grief, it's okay. Like I always tell people when you lose somebody, you're never going to get over it, but you're going to learn to live with it. So if the feelings of sadness come up, okay, move through them, heal them. Understand that this was something beautiful that you had in your life, and not everybody has that. And it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel blue about these things. And sometimes that same memory might bring happiness and joy to you. That's grief. That's grief. But if it's anger, if it's trauma, if it's pain, if you have healed it, don't keep revisiting it. Let it go. I know that's easier said than done, but come on, guys. It sounds easier said than done, but it has taken me years to get to this point. So I get it. But one of the reasons it's taken me years is because until my therapist stopped this train or stopped this bad cycle, this bad habit of mine, I would unpack it, I would heal it, and then I'd find a reason that it wasn't healed, and I'd repack it to unpack it from a different direction. So don't do that, because that's counterproductive. All right? So again, new beginnings. New beginnings. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll be back here on Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelley Marie Lucas. Anybody can watch. If you want to rewatch this again, you can watch it on Facebook, or you can catch it on my YouTube channel under the Aloha Perspective. I'll be back here Monday with the Daily Affirmators, okay? And we'll get back to that. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm still trying to think of what I want to do with Fridays. So I may make it an actual Aloha Friday, which would be Hawaiian-based stuff. So, or maybe just Polynesian things. We'll throw it up a little bit, okay? But I'm the Aloha Perspective, and yeah, I'm a bloodline Hawaiian, but I think I really need to start focusing a little more on my culture. So, the culture I was raised in. So yeah, we'll get that going, and I'll figure that one out. But in the meantime, just take care of yourselves, okay? Think about what these cards had to say, because they really did say a lot. So I hope everybody has a great, great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on Monday.